Hey guys, what is going on? Slevtek here, and in today's episode of the podcast, we have the streamer The Squishy Beard. He is a down-to-earth guy. I really hope you guys are going to enjoy it. And if anybody likes the UK accent or the British accent, he is your man, and this episode is for you. But guys, without further ado, The Squishy Beard is on the podcast. I will have all of his links down in the description below. If you are listening to this on the audio experience, then his Twitch is going to be The Squishy Beard, TheSquishyBeard_. Make sure you remember the underscore over on Twitch and go give that man a follow. I hope you guys enjoy today's episode. Let's go, man.
Let's get it. Dude. We got there in the end.
It took a minute.
Damn.
It took a minute.
It did. This is the sort of luck I've been having. Like 2020 hasn't been a great start already.
Really, man?
It's not been good.
Run me through it. What's honestly, kind of been going on? It's only been 9 days deep. We're 9 days deep.
It's just ongoing problems from 2019. Like, you just want to leave them in the past, but they just still creep up, and yeah, it's just literally dragging through from then. I mean, 2019 was definitely a tough year for me.
Yeah. How's streaming kind of been going along for? How long have you been streaming for?
6 months. It's just coming up to 5 months. 5 months. Not quite 6 months yet.
And I know you through Miss Gigglebox. Bless her heart. That is like
Miss Giggle's a diamond. She is
nicest woman I've ever met. With that
southern
accent
got a lot of love
too.
for her.
Definitely helps.
you know it. 100%.
So what kind of got you into streaming, bro?
I mean, it's always been like a long aspiration of mine. Yeah. I used to play with some YouTubers back in the day on World War II. They used to live stream, so I used to play with some YouTubers then, and just through talking to them while I was playing, it was something that I really enjoyed, like the sound of, and just YouTube in general. There's quite a few YouTubers that I look up to. There's a British YouTuber called KSI.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure if you've ever heard of him, but
he's like a big boxing match recently or anything.
Yeah, he's a big idol of mine. I've followed his whole career since he started. And
FIFA, right? He started with FIFA.
He did. He started with just messing around on FIFA, and then left the gaming side alone, and sort of branched out into other things. But
like that's style and whatnot, right?
Yeah, more like vlogs and silly like skits and things like that.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So how do you? I take it you enjoy streaming and whatnot.
I love streaming. Yeah. Streaming's just amazing. I mean, as I say, it's been a long time aspiration of mine, like a dream of mine. For the biggest reason for me is I found streams during like a hard time in my life.
Sure.
And they helped me through some dark times, and that gave me an escape and things. And that's basically what I want to give back. Like, that's what I want my streaming career to be. Like, I want to create a community where everyone can do what streams did for me, kind of thing, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I almost, to kind of build on that too, like even from like a content creator standpoint or the streamer standpoint, I feel like it's therapeutic even for the streamer to have a community where they've created it, but the community is empty without everybody else, but it's just as therapeutic for the streamer as it is for the viewer or the supporter, because you come here and like I'll have like stuff going on in my personal life that I don't talk about, but everybody has their bad days, and everybody has,
exactly that
stuff going on in their life that sucks at times. But every time I get on stream, I realize that I can impact somebody's day for the better. And what it ends up doing is they talk to me and they make my day better, and my just kind of happiness goes up in general just by engaging with my friends, because I consider everybody like a friend at this point, that watches.
Yeah, exactly that.
So I think it's really healthy. It can be unhealthy if you let it.
Yeah.
But it can be very healthy if you structure it properly,
Yeah, exactly that. As you say, as much as it is like it's nice to help out other people, it's again it is something like it's a release for well for me as a streamer personally, and I'm sure for other people, it's that release being able to just forget everything and just almost recreate yourself kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
you can be the best of your ability for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%. And I feel like that's you kind of struck a chord there where you're yourself, like you're
Yeah,
unapologetically yourself, and people respect that, and they like to see that you're human, and that
yeah,
you are
exactly
going
that.
through things yourself as well. Um, and it makes you more or I wouldn't say relevant, but relatable to your
That's it. That's
audience.
that's that's it. 100%.
Whereas if people just always try and just put on an act and be like the bubbly, flamboyant, outgoing personality, it can kind of come off as disingenuous and sometimes
Yeah,
as well as just unauthentic, and it can kind of give the wrong perception. I think that's what a lot of people try to do is they try to be the KSIs, that are very outgoing,
exactly,
but that might not
exactly.
be their personality, and then it just
Yeah,
doesn't flow well with who they are as a person, and so they don't see the success that they probably could if they were just themselves from the get-go.
that's it. That's the big difference. I mean, as soon as you get into this whole streaming creator, content creator life, you've got to decide whether you're gonna be yourself or you're gonna be a character, and then you've got to stick to it. You can't just pick and choose between the two. If you're going to be a character, then let people know that you're going to be that character. But if you're going to be yourself, then people can relate to that a lot more, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, 100%. So, dude, what games do you play?
Um, so I'm a COD fanboy through and
Let's
through.
go,
That's
dude.
that's that's me through and through. I mean, FIFA was a big thing for me growing up.
Okay,
That's basically what got me into gaming was FIFA.
okay.
One of my first consoles, first game, FIFA. So yeah, I used to play that almost 24/7. The grind, the grind on FIFA was as COD is nowadays for me.
I'm sorry. What you cut out
Playing
there a
ranked
little
games, I
bit.
was in the top one. Ah, sorry, dude.
No, you're good. You
Um,
said FIFA was in the
yeah,
top.
yeah, it was like I, it was the grind for me on FIFA was the same as Call of Duty is for me now.
Oh, okay.
Um, like I was top ranked. I think I was in the top 100 in the world on FIFA 2004. I think it was like one of the old FIFAs. So it was definitely something that I loved.
Yeah.
It was a definite passion of mine. But it's only recently that that passion sort of faded. I mean, Battle Royale, Blackout was what grabbed my attention. That took me away from multiplayer. Multiplayer was always my thing in
Hmm.
Call of Duty. Always grinded to Master Prestige.
Yeah.
Got dark matter camos.
What was your
Dropped
game mode?
nukes.
Like, were you a search
Uh,
player, more TDM, Dom?
nah, more domination. I was always down for the spawn traps.
Oh
As
yeah.
much as everyone would hate me for it, but
Everybody
it
did
was
it.
easy plays.
Everybody
It
did
was pub
it.
stomping. That was the days.
Okay, what was your
But
first
yeah,
Call of Duty that you played?
my first Call of Duty, I borrowed it from a friend at school. It was World at War, and I loved it. I didn't want to give it back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what grabbed my
Did
attention.
you play
But
multiplayer like straight away, or
yeah, straight into multiplayer, and then
360 or PlayStation?
360.
360.
Um,
Oh, dude.
yeah, 360.
I think the 360 is still the best console like ever. Like in
A
my
hundred
mind,
percent.
like the party chats, you could just send a party chat. The game chat was always popping in Call of Duty. Like it was just a
Yeah, that
lot
was
of
what it was
fun.
about.
Yeah.
That's what grabbed my attention. Literally, as you say, the game chat, the parties.
Dude,
It was just a fun
if
experience.
you survive through like World at War, Modern Warfare 2, like that phase of like trash talking in Call of Duty,
Yeah,
you are
you can survive
resilient.
anything.
Yeah.
You know it, 100 million%,
I've
100%.
heard things that I've never heard before or will ever hear again in my life as like a
a
8-year-old
100%.
or a 10-year-old, whatever age I was. How old are you?
Yeah. I'm 27 now. 27.
27? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm 23,
Yeah.
so 4 years apart. Nice, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
first Call of Duty experience was World at War. You played it. When did you start feeling like you got pretty good at Call of Duty? Because for me, it took a couple years.
So Modern Warfare 2 was my Call of Duty.
Okay.
Um, that was the one, the late night grinds, the walk into the petrol station at 3 o'clock in the morning to get more energy drink. Yeah, literally that was my Call of Duty, and that's when I became. I was the sweaty 360 no scope off the top of
So you were
Rust.
the trick shotter. You were the trick shotter.
that
Okay.
that that was me. That was towards the end of the game when I got bored of just using the red guns.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
The intervention.
yeah,
Oh, dude.
yeah. The intervention was dirty, as
The
I
sleight
say.
of hand pro, just
Yeah,
it's so
I,
nice.
just the memories,
Yeah,
the memories now.
how old were you when that game came out?
Uh,
Roughly.
13, 14,
Yeah, I
maybe
think
15 at push.
I was like 10 or 11. So I remember being in 7th grade and I had to walk to school every day. And my
Yeah.
sister at that point was in high school. And my parents were separated at that point. So I was the only one in the house. And then I would leave to go to school. Oh, and um, and I remember just making up the most BS excuses that like why I couldn't go to school so that I could just continue to grind Call of Duty
Yeah.
because I was like so close to like prestiging again or whatnot. So I remember one time I legitimately walked about to the end of the corner of like where our street was, and it was about
Yeah.
like a 2 kilometer or like a 2.3 mile walk to school. I walked maybe
Damn.
a minute, and there's like this little puddle that I found. Are you
Yeah.
okay? Okay.
Yeah. I just got to let my dog in. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. There's a little puddle on the ground, and so I just remember rolling in the puddle. Oh, you there?
It's
Hold on, let's see.
crazy.
There we go. Yeah, I just remember rolling in the puddle, man, and and then calling my mom saying that like I can't go to school. I fell in the puddle.
Oh,
And
damn.
she was like, Alec, what the hell? I was like, Mom, I'm sorry, I just can't go. And so that was like all I said because I knew she was like locked in at work. And so I just went back
Yeah.
home and played Call of Duty for like 4 hours. I knew
I
I
mean,
was
at
gonna get
that
yelled
age,
at,
any
but
excuse, any excuse.
but yeah, I was
Oh,
definitely
damn.
addicted, man. So did you watch like YouTubers kind of growing up then, like with the Modern Warfare 2
Yeah.
trick shotters? I could imagine.
Not so much. I didn't really get into the whole YouTube scene until a little bit later.
Uh huh.
Um, it was literally just me and friends, and I used to see other people do it, and people would do it to me, and I just had to be the best at it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So you're
that's where the
competitive.
grind became. Um, I again, I used to be growing up. I realized it's not so much of a big deal. I
For
mean,
sure.
I can be to an extent. I'm still a very sore loser. Um, I'm not afraid to admit that I'm a very sore loser and a
Alright.
sore winner. I can be a sore winner. I'm not gonna lie on that either.
You're very
But
passionate, is what we'll say.
yeah, 100%. Passionate is the word for it.
There you go, dude. That's crazy. So, what was your childhood kind of like? Did you play sports? Is that where that kind of competitive side came in, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so I was big into sports. I was very big into sports. Football was a big thing of mine. I was scouted for a professional football team as a young kid.
And for those in
Unfortunately, it was
America, I think he's talking about soccer.
soccer. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
soccer.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. But then that was too distant for me, so I couldn't get into that. But then growing up, I got into rugby, which obviously very similar to American football.
Yeah, you seem like a bigger
Um,
guy, dude. You'd be a tank in
I
that.
I I am so I'm 6'4",
Okay,
around 230 pounds
we're
in
kind of
your weight.
similar. We're kind of similar. I'm 6'7", 220, so
Oh damn, very
yeah,
tall.
yeah. So like 200 centimeters or something like that.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So yeah, as I say, I was a big guy. I used to play rugby. Again, got scouted for a semi-professional team for them. Unfortunately, physical ailments and other things got in the way of it, so it was something that I could never follow through
Right.
uh, to the full extent. um, which was unfortunate, but again, it's something you have to move on with. And yeah,
How old were you when you were getting scouted for rugby?
I was young, 14, yeah, 14, 15, I
Dang,
think I
kids are
was.
playing rugby at that age? Dude, I've
Yeah.
seen like videos of rugby. It's brutal, dude. And you guys don't stop. It's just
So
like
because of my
going.
size, I've always been that big guy. I mean, I think I was around 6 foot back then. So yeah, I was playing in the adult team. I was playing with 20, 22 year olds at the
At
age of 15.
14? Jesus,
Yeah,
dude.
14, 15. Um, to be honest, I was lucky. The only bad injury I ever had was a broken collarbone. Um, but yeah, it was so passionate. Like I enjoyed it more than football. It's a very gentlemanly sport,
It is?
rugby. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's very as much as you'll be smashing each other to bits on the pitch, afterwards you'll shake each other's hands, you'll go for a pint, you'll have a drink,
At,
everyone will be
at 14?
respectful.
At 14?
Yeah. Not so much going for the drink, not so much going for the drink, but
I'm just playing with you,
yeah.
bro.
No, yeah. As I say, very, very respectful, and I believe that that's rubbed off on me. As much as it's a sport,
Mhm.
the respectful side of it has rubbed off on me.
Yeah,
So it's something again I've got to be thankful for. You know.
exactly. The ethics of it all. You know, I can
Yeah, that's it.
definitely get around that. I was a swimmer, Olympic qualified swimmer,
Damn.
before I had to retire because of a surgery. So definitely can
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
relate there as well.
hundred
Dude,
percent, man.
after rugby, what did you kind of do once you realized you weren't able to pursue that anymore?
So at that age, I was just finishing my schooling, um, just going into college to do art and study art. Unfortunately, my mother become
Oh, hold on one
disabled,
second. Hold on one second.
so I had to,
Hold up one second.
yeah,
Try and get you. You're cutting out a little bit. Okay, there we go. What were you saying? Your mom what?
yeah.
Ah,
My mum became disabled. It's
disabled.
cutting out again, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah,
it is a little bit.
disabled. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She became disabled when I was 10, but towards the age of 15, 16, it became worse.
Okay.
So I took time out to care for her,
Definitely.
and unfortunately, obviously, that took a bit of a toll on my schooling and education. Um, I still came out with a introductory degree in art,
Okay.
but again, unfortunately, it didn't really get me anywhere.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I got into a few short-time jobs, and then another passion of mine popped up, which was security, and
Okay.
I started doing security. Did
Being the big
security
man.
for yeah. I mean, might as well use my size for what it's
Right.
worth, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, doing personal security for clients, and my biggest thing was doing security for the Olympics when it was in London in 2012.
Okay. Wow.
Um, Obviously, the looking after the athletes in the village, etc.
How was that
So,
experience?
I mean, it was something that I thoroughly enjoyed. It was good. There was some bad things there, but obviously that goes with anything.
It goes with
But
the job.
the
Yeah.
majority of it was amazing. Meeting the athletes, having little talks with them, just being there and the atmosphere of it all. The the internationality of it
Yeah.
was one of the biggest things that I enjoyed. I mean, I'm not so good at it now, but one of the things I prided myself in was I could say hello to anyone there in their native language. So
Oof.
whether they was
Really, man.
French, Russian, German, Spanish, any language, I could at least greet them and say hello. I
Okay.
mean, it backfired a few times when someone would go off and just reel off a full on sentence, and I'd be like, no, not sure. I only know hello, but
Gesundheit.
yeah, yeah,
That's funny,
but
dude.
yeah,
Yeah, man, that was my biggest dream growing up, and like passion was to go to the Olympics and to like experience that.
yeah,
Um,
man. It's
I had got a hip surgery 100 days before the Rio Olympics.
Oh,
and
damn.
I had to retire off of it. But at the
That's
time of my
sad news, bro.
retirement, yeah, I mean, it is what it is now. It's all under the bridge now, but
Yeah, of course, of
um,
course.
and I'm happy with where I'm at, and I've got to experience so much more after it. But I was 12th in the world for the 50-meter freestyle at the time of my
Yeah,
retirement. So, and I'm also half Puerto Rican. So, if I didn't make the American team, I would have for sure made the Puerto Rican team. It would have been a free
yeah,
ticket to the
100%.
Olympics. But I mean, you can always no point in living in regret, But it was always a
Yeah, of course,
passion of
of
mine. So
course.
to hear you be able to experience it, even from like a security detail standpoint, I just find it so
Yeah.
mesmerizing. 'Cause-
It was. I mean, it's second to none. Even the way I've described it doesn't give it props. It doesn't give it credit for what it was.
yeah,
Even though I mean, there's bad rep for it. Like the one that was in London, for whatever
yeah,
happened, and it was rushed and whatever. It was still amazing to me.
yeah.
And
I feel like there's something in
that,
the air.
yeah,
I've been to like professional swim meets where it's
yeah,
closed off to the public. Like the public seating is completely separate, and you can't like intermingle with the athletes at all. The
yeah,
general public
yeah,
can't, and it's a totally different atmosphere. The air
yeah,
almost feels
100%.
different, and I can only imagine that being so much greater at an Olympic scale.
I mean, it was, as I say, the village was literally just the athletes walking around, and when you see a 8 foot tall Russian basketball player walking next to a 5 foot tall like skeet shooter, and they're just talking, and it's just like it's a crazy sight, but they're just walking around as if they're all the same, which we all are.
Yeah,
It's nice to see it like in that aspect. It's the shame that the world can't be how it was in that village.
yeah, no, definitely. The thing is, that's just politics. At the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah, of
day,
course.
we're at a primal or like a base level, we're just humans. You know what I mean? We have different cultures and
Yeah,
different differences, but we're just people at the end of the day. And one thing, like I don't know if do you know who Joe Rogan is?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I listen to his podcast a lot. Actually, a huge inspiration for this one. And
yeah.
his biggest thing, like he's a huge fan of Khabib. Do you know who Khabib is? Oh, can you hear me?
You've cut out a bit. Yeah, hold
Okay,
on.
good. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you know who Khabib is? He's a UFC
Khabib.
fighter.
Oh, the UFC fighter. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
one that like whooped McGregor's like booty.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He follows him pretty extensively, and he made a correlation that I never really thought of, but it made a lot of sense. Was Instagram has like a translation button on their app, so you can
yeah.
actually translate like immediately. It might be a little choppy here or there, but you can translate what they're saying on their post. you
Oh,
know?
damn.
And
Yeah,
so, like, he follows Khabib, and he made an insight that, like, these people, like these Russians and people that live in, like, Brazil or whatever, that speak a totally different language that people don't like or don't understand, they're just everyday people like us, you know what I mean, in their own home
yeah,
country. They do the same things that we do, just with like very minor adjustments due to their culture. But at the end of the day, everybody's innately human.
yeah.
And
That's it. When it, whoever you cut, we all the way up
oh, whoever you are, what?
on the inside.
You're cutting out a little bit again.
Whoever you are, like we're all the same on the
Yeah,
inside. It doesn't matter like what you look like,
yeah,
you sound like. The inside's what matters.
yeah. No, the insides
Kind
definitely
of again.
definitely are what matter. I kind of pieced it together a little bit, but you said
Yeah,
just like everybody's human, and we're all pretty much similar on the insides.
that's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and I feel like yes, there are bad people out there. That's a given. But for the
Of
most
course.
part, I feel like people try to do good, and a lot of it, like especially like what's going on right now with like Iran and everything like that. I don't like getting into
Yeah,
politics, but it's just politics is what it really
that's
is.
it.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure
That is it.
people in Iran view Americans as like the enemy, and we do the same in Iran. But if you were to
Yeah,
put two just everyday like middle income families together, they would break bread and be able to enjoy each other's company, you know,
Yeah,
going into it with an open mind. And
yeah.
I just feel like that doesn't happen nearly as much as it should, you know.
That's it. That's the biggest thing that I've bringing it back to the whole streaming. That's the biggest thing I've noticed with the streaming community as a whole. Well, the small streamers anyway. We're all there to help each other, and it doesn't matter whether you're from Holland or the US or the
Right?
UK or Scotland. Everyone's trying to help each other. I mean, even my I've got to give big props to Black Mamba and Marshall Gaming. Like without them, I wouldn't even have a PlayStation. They gave me the PlayStation, and
Really?
they brought me over to PlayStation so that I could branch my stream out
For
and
sure.
obviously play with other streamers and things like that. My camera is from another streamer, Johnny W. So everyone helps each other out, you know, and that's it's a shame that the whole world can't be like that. It's a shame that it's only narrowed down to this community, but hopefully the wider the community comes, the bigger it can become in the world, you know?
Yeah, and I think we as humans sometimes view ourselves as so small and we can't make a difference. But if we all adopt a similar um, kind of aspect or theology around just trying to be a good person,
That's it.
it could change overnight. You know, you personally just try to do good, and the person to the left and to the right of you try to do good, and then next thing you know, we're all just uplifted from it. So I definitely,
That's it. It's a good feeling as well. When you do good, it makes you feel good.
yeah, and it makes you want to do
Uh,
more.
that's it. It's that's all it needs. Just do one good thing, and you'll see the results for
Yeah,
yourself. You know.
exactly. So talking about community, how would you kind of sum up your community? Like the
Um,
people that are in your chat, like anybody in particular that's like your everydayers, or like what are they
I've got
like?
some. As I say, it's a lot of small communities that have joined together
Yeah,
to help create my community. It all started with Fluxury, and a lot of us have come from there. I've got some girls that come into my chat, absolute beautiful ladies. Pessimal, Miss Gigglebox, Cheryl Tilbury. They stop by literally any time I stream. Anytime I stream, there's no doubt that they won't be there. Um, it's I can't fault my community at the
yeah,
moment. I literally it's growing slowly, but that's a lot on me as obviously I'm trying to upgrade my stream myself, and
sure.
that's a slow grind. So little things like making discords and making socials to keep in contact with everyone.
Yeah,
They're slowly getting there. Um, but yeah, it's a slow grind, but it's a good grind.
yeah,
I'm enjoying it, and the community side of it is the best part of it. As I say, that I'm sure I've missed out some names, but the
yeah, yeah.
ladies especially,
But just to
got
name
to
a
give
few,
them props.
yeah.
Yeah, the ladies themselves, like they're up there, and then obviously I've young bloods. He's he's amazing. Posty, the legend Posty. If anyone doesn't know the legend Posty, then I don't know what's going on there, because he's just an absolute goat. And then obviously, as I mentioned earlier, Black Mamba and Marshall Gaming. Without them, my channel wouldn't be where it is today. So
Yeah, most definitely.
they're a big part of it also.
Yeah, and I've had a very similar experience with that. I was streaming pretty consistently. I used to stream on YouTube and then it made the transition over to Twitch.
Yeah,
But there was a period where my PlayStation 4 went out, so like the optical port on it no longer
yeah,
worked, so I couldn't stream any game audio whatsoever, which is a
mm,
huge setback, you know. So
yeah. Of course, of course.
so there was a month there where I didn't play and I didn't stream, and I was playing with a guy named Bad Mama Jama. I'm not sure if
Yeah, I
you've heard
love
of
Bad.
him.
Love
Yeah,
Bad. He's a
and
legend.
he was in my streams and whatnot. and then like we would play offline a little bit. And so I got on after like 3 weeks because I just got the bug again to play Call of Duty, even if I wasn't streaming it. And I played
Yeah.
with him, and he's like, "Hey man, why haven't you been streaming?" Like, "Oh man, like my PlayStation, like I can't, this and that." And literally told him that. He's like, "Oh, okay." Within 30 seconds, man, he wired $400 to my PayPal. I was like, "Get off
Yeah.
right now. Go get a PlayStation. I'll see you in an hour, and let's get up and running on that stream." And so
Yeah.
it changed everything for me. You know,
Yeah,
it was
Bad is a legend. Bad was who actually introduced me to you. Like that's how I found your YouTube
oh
channel.
really?
Was through Bad. Yeah, I was watching one of his streams one time. I think he was either playing with him or you popped up in the chat,
Okay.
and he's obviously said to check you out, and that's how I found your channel.
Dude,
So
isn't that crazy? Like
yeah,
the communities, it's literally a a huge amount of like micro communities is what I call them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're not like we're
yeah.
not big time streamers. We're not even
That's
middle
it. That's
tiered
what I was trying to
streamers.
say
We're just
earlier. Yeah.
tiny, and we all just help each other out. You know, and
That's it, man. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of and to even know, like to be a part of it is that added bonus, but to
yeah,
even know and hear of such a thing is a beautiful thing in itself.
yeah, because like you don't hear the good stories nowadays nearly as much as you hear about the bad ones. You know?
That's it. That's a big thing in life. It's a lot of just bad, bad, bad. So the nice that comes through needs to be grasped and needs to be shared.
Yeah, most definitely. So you've kind of been talking a little bit about 2019 being a little bit hard for you, and 2020 has kind of seeped into it. What are you looking to
Yeah.
kind of do for 2020? Do you have any goals, ambitions to try and make this a better
So
year for you?
I've tried to set myself 3 goals. As sort of an easy goal, a medium goal, and a big goal
Sure.
for the year. So my easy goal is to just be a little happier in all aspects. So I, without getting into too much detail, I suffer with some mental health issues, and that takes a toll on me,
Hmm.
and I I can't let that get in the way so much. So my easy goal is to just be a little bit happier, not to be so down on myself about things.
Definitely.
My medium goal is to upgrade my stream quality for both myself and for my community, my audience.
Yeah.
And then my third goal is to get out of this country, just to uh, hopefully to get over to the US. I mean, the US is where I'd like to go, but just out of the country in general,
For sure.
whether
So
it needs to be a short stop until I get to the US or a straight
yeah.
ticket straight
So
over there.
you want to move out of the UK then is what you're saying for
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
100%.
Okay.
That that would be, as I say, that's the big goal. It,
Definitely.
it's it's sort of one that it's there. If I can hit it, great.
Yeah.
If not, it's not so much of a bad thing.
Yeah, it's your Hail
The
Mary.
small and the medium goal, they're the goals that have got to be achieved.
Yeah, most definitely. What what state? So like you want to come to the U.S. Is there a particular state you have in mind that you're just like that's where I want to be?
So again, another person in my community, a great friend of mine that I've actually met is Justin Rogers. He's always said to me if I came over there, he's got a place for me, like he'd put me up. So in realistic terms, it'd be where he is because
Yeah,
I've got a place there. But if we're talking again dream aspects, I'm not so sure. Uh, I think it's one of them things that I'd need to travel around and just find where I could
yeah,
settle, wherever felt like home.
most definitely. And dude, you could do that forever too, because the
Yeah,
United States, it's kind of like Europe as a whole. We have so
that's
many
it.
different
It's
states, and there's so many different like cultures inside. Like the further like east you go, it gets so different than what it is over on the West Coast and things
a
like
hundred
that.
percent, 100%,
But we need to put you in a place where there's more sunshine, bro. That on
a
like mental
hundred
health
percent.
in general, like it's crazy what just sun can do for you, you know?
Yeah, definitely,
It
definitely.
brightens not only your day but just like your mental like just outlook on life. I know for me, I spent like 6 months in Missouri, which is like central United States, and it
Yeah,
was you would just be cloudy every day for like 2 weeks, and like you would genuinely get depressed in those 2 weeks, and not like you'd feel unmotivated. You wouldn't want to do anything. And then like in
Yeah, weather
Arizona,
plays a big part.
yeah, I live in Arizona, which is I call Hades nutsack of the United States. It gets like 120 degrees Fahrenheit,
Damn.
which what is
Yeah,
that Celsius? Let me pull that up real quick.
it's got to be
120 F
super high.
so 48.89 degrees Celsius. Oh.
Yeah, that,
we have
I'm not about that life. Like, I think that's a bit too hot for me. I'll be
yeah.
steering clear of that.
Yeah, we have heat warnings where they tell you to stay indoors and not go outside because it's so hot.
Yeah,
Last summer, I had some sneakers that I had on, like running shoes, and
yeah.
the bottom rubber part actually melted on the asphalt because it was so hot.
That's crazy. That is it's just craziness, man. Like, I've noticed just generally in America, it seems to be a lot warmer than over in the UK. Like,
Yeah.
you guys have all got air conditioning units and stuff. We don't even get them,
You
so
don't
that
have
just goes to
AC?
show you. No, we don't have AC unless you're rich, pretty
Really?
much. Yeah,
Dang. Okay.
to be honest, there's no reason to have AC units. It doesn't get hot enough over here.
True. There's some
Uh,
parts of the U.S. that don't have AC either. Um, but for like the most part, like the East Coast definitely does. Unless you get
yeah,
like a little bit further north where it gets a little colder, you're typically okay. But yeah, I mean, it all like the United States, it's so vastly different from like one state to another that you
yeah,
can't really make those judgments off of like the states as a whole. You kind of have to almost look at it individually, you know?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So what do you like to do then on your off time when you're not streaming? Are you currently doing security work still?
No, I'm currently out of work.
Okay,
So the whole streaming is pretty much full time for me at the moment.
for sure.
I'm trying to put my all into it. I mean, there's been 24 hours plus streams. I try to do upwards to anything from 8 to 14 hours daily.
Wow.
That's my goal for the day, you know.
Sure.
Uh, and as I say, yeah, there's been a few 24-hour pluses here and there.
Dude, I've done
Um,
one 24-hour and like I thought I was gonna die.
I mean, again, I think the security thing sort of helped. I used to do a lot of night shifts with
Okay.
security, so being awake for a day or so
You get
doesn't
used
so
to
much
it.
Yeah, yeah, 100% get used to it.
That's an acquired taste for sure. I don't know if I can get, I love my sleep, bro.
It,
Yeah, but
it's something that doesn't come very often for me anyway. Again, uh, conditions in etc. It's not something that's there, so I might as well make the most of what I'm doing whilst I'm awake and try and provide some kind of entertainment for.
oh, there we go. Yeah, I caught
Yep.
all that, but it like cut out at like
Yeah.
right at the last second. But yeah, no, man, like 100%. Like it's you're a grinder for sure. Like you definitely grind 8 to 12 hours a day streaming. That's insane. Do you have a strategy for like your growth or like
Um.
any other like ways to bring in like it's like it doesn't matter how great of a product you have or how great of a stream you have
Yeah.
unless you have like traffic or eyes coming to you, you know, getting those views on you or that awareness.
That's it. I
That's the
mean, as
hardest
I
part, right?
sort of mentioned earlier, it's a slow grind. I've sort of I'm trying to branch out into opening some social medias so I can sort of get myself out there that way. Um, as it stands, it's literally just being on, just word of mouth. You know,
Yeah.
there's not much what's the word much exposure for me out there
Yeah.
as such. But it's again, as I say, this year it's about upgrading and bettering my stream. So it's something that will be happening very soon. Getting into the social media side of it, Twitter, etc. And hopefully that's gonna help me with some growth. As it stands, it's literally the reason I stream so long is so I can try and be on for all audiences.
Yeah.
whether it be UK, whether it be US, whether it be Australia, whether it be out in Mongolia.
Yeah, dude,
Wherever
right?
wants to watch me, I want to be
Exactly.
there and be available for him.
Yeah, no,
So yeah,
100%, man. That's a tough thing. That's what a lot of people don't understand when you start streaming is trying to gain exposure and trying to
yeah,
build a community. How much that time and effort actually goes into it, you know?
that's
And
it.
and there's
100%.
so many hours, countless hours that if you were to put it down on paper, you wouldn't be getting anywhere, you know?
Yeah,
But that's why you have to do it for out of passion rather than trying to be a full-time streamer or doing it for the money. You have to love what you
yeah,
do.
that's it.
Otherwise, you're not going to put in the hours required to actually make something of it, you know?
Yeah, that's it. It is a very big passion propelled project sort of thing. It's it's literally it's just the passion that propels me to get on. Like even the game, when the game's frustrating and it doesn't go well, I might not get a kill for 4 or 5 games in a row, and I still push myself through and I try and bring some sort of entertainment to it.
Oh,
If I
yeah.
if I can, it's that's the main goal.
Yeah, 100%. I always try to, even if I'm not having an amazing game or an amazing day of streaming content wise, I always try to have a positive attitude and be
Yeah,
at least a little comical so that people can enjoy it. Even if we are sucking, we suck together kind of thing, you know?
yeah,
So,
exactly that,
so
exactly
we
that.
just make
I
light
mean,
of the whole
I've never
situation.
claimed to be like a pro. Like I've always said that I'm there for the fun. There might be the occasional good clip or a good gameplay here and there.
For sure.
I'm not up there with the professionals.
I
So
got you. What's your
it
highest kill game in Blackout?
36.
Oh, in like Alcatraz
Uh
or limited time modes?
oh yeah, that was limited time mode. 22 in duos, I think was my
Duos?
highest.
Dude, that's pretty
Yeah.
good, man. That's pretty.
That that was that was the most sweatiest game I've ever played in my life.
I can
And
imagine you were probably just on it too. Like your shots were just not
yeah,
missing. Like I love
I
games like
mean,
that.
literally anyone who knows, anyone who comes to my channel, it's a sniping game life for me. Snipe the thing that I enjoy most on Call of Duty, as I say, back from Modern Warfare 2, back from the quick scoping, the 360s, the trick shotting. That's what's always enticed me back in like the amusement, the arcades and things like that. I used to spend hours, like literally hours, not on the little 2p machines. I don't know if you have them over there, like little
Mm,
slot machines.
yeah.
But literally just on the game.
Uh,
Yeah,
just what?
I think it was a Pally Store game in that. Oh, it's kind of
A little bit, yeah.
yeah.
There
Are
we
we
go.
back?
I think so.
There we go. Um, yeah, as I say, it's just sniping's always been a big
Dude,
passion of mine.
I'm telling you right now, we have to play together. Like we
A hundred
absolutely
percent,
have
hundred
to
percent, dude.
because my whole community, I feel like most of them only watch me because I snipe. Like I, it's
Yeah, again, as I say, I've seen a few of your videos, and
oh,
like
okay,
you're a
yeah,
good
yeah,
sniper.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
are a good sniper.
Dude, I just
Um,
imagine both of us with like a pally and an outlaw and just ba 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 ba
oh, it'd be
ba. Like
crazy, man. Yeah,
forget
hundred
about
percent
it.
crazy.
We got to run it sometime. 100%.
What's your longest snipe?
540 meters, I believe.
Oh, I think you just got me beat. I think mine's like 5.26 on Xbox.
Oh no! Yeah, dude, it was
Yeah,
the
you just got
craziest
me beat.
snipe too. I got a headshot off of a helicopter. I was in the
Oh, out of a heli too.
yeah, I was in the middle
Nice.
like hill off of Rivertown, you know,
Yeah.
and I shot somebody at Turbine. Like they were
Oh,
flying over Turbine. It was
nice,
it
nice
was
shot.
it was brutal. It was actually with Bad Mama Jama too.
Yeah,
I never got it. I wasn't streaming at that time because I was in that transition phase. But
yeah.
it was insane. Like our jaws just dropped because you just see the helicopter just start spinning and going
Mm.
down. I'm just like, dude, it was intense.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be a mum get the camera moment.
Right? Yeah. I touched the net, mom. I touched
Yeah.
the net. What was yours? Where? How did yours go down?
Mine was a Koshka from the top of Fracking Tower
Hmm.
to just the other side of factory.
Oh,
Um,
dude, that's
yeah.
like towards red bricks or like past
Yeah,
factory a
yeah,
little bit.
literally that. Yeah, towards Red Brick sort of way.
Those who
Um,
don't play Call of Duty or Blackout have no idea what we're talking about, but that's how you
yeah,
know
you
we
know,
know Blackout like the back of our
yeah,
hand because we can just put
yeah,
landmarks out. That's funny, man.
yeah.
Uh,
It's the crazy shot. I mean, it was literally it was a third party,
mhm.
um, but
Still counts.
there was two teams fighting there, and it was first time shot. Literally just zoomed in, shot once, and he went down,
Oof.
and then he got firsted by someone else. I was happy. I was over the moon.
Dude, that's oh man. Do you have the clip somewhere
No, no, do I? It might be still saved on like
on your
saved onto my
Xbox? Oh,
Xbox.
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to find
Um.
that. If you find it, like
Yeah.
share it. I guarantee you people are going to love that.
Yeah.
100%.
I've again, it's something that needs to be branched out into. At the moment, it's literally just Twitch streams for me. So there's going to be a YouTube created soon enough, and get
Yeah.
some content out there, and hopefully make some little sniping compilations or something. Get some gameplays in.
Yeah, for sure. So do you have a Twitter or Instagram right now or is it just Twitch?
Literally just Twitch.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Tonight you go make a Twitter, make an Instagram. That way I can link it in the description and get you a couple followers straight out the gate.
I do have a Twitter. I do have a
Let's
Twitter
go,
actually.
dude.
I literally I've I signed back into it for the first time the other day, and it turns out I hadn't used it since like 2014 or some crap. But yeah, again, it's something. It's just getting into it. It's
Yeah.
social media has never been a big thing of mine.
Yeah.
I've always been quite old school,
Yeah.
even with phones.
For sure.
If you want to get a hold of me, come and knock my door.
Yeah. I like that. I respect
uh,
that.
yeah, that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's something I'm definitely gonna get into.
Yeah.
So yeah,
With social
there is a Twitter
media,
there.
like for my personal social media, I let's let's even look. I'll pull mine up right now and see like the most recent. I haven't used my Twitter like ever really, but my most recent post on my personal one was August 31st, 2018. It was at my sister's wedding.
Damn.
So over like a year, almost a year and a half ago, you know, I'm dead on my
Nah,
social
yeah,
medias, but on my others, how I view it is it's a way for like the community to stay in touch, you know,
yeah.
and
That's it. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Like
yeah,
it's all about trying to build it, and I know not everyone can be on Discord, or not
yeah,
everyone can just come to the Twitch streams. So
exactly,
yeah, as you say, it's just keeping in contact
yeah,
with everyone and having that community feel.
exactly. I view it as just like different pillars of where people can kind of congregate to,
Yeah,
or different hubs that people can congregate to and expand like their friendship and inside of the community without having to necessarily
yeah,
be locked into like the live stream, you know, and it just creates a kind of tighter knit family, you know.
yeah.
I really like that. I love that aspect of if there wasn't the community aspect to live streaming, I personally don't think I'd be in it or I'd be doing
That,
it.
that that's it again. As I said earlier, it's that's the main thing that I'm getting out of this streaming thing is the building a community and everyone helping each other out.
Yeah,
Like the games are fun, the donos are much appreciated, and they help things, but
yeah,
cut everything out, and this that community vibe and that that family feel. You know,
exactly,
that's
exactly.
the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, the biggest thing like for me is I don't know about you, but like I personally don't have a lot of like real life friends that I hang out
Yeah,
with and go out
yeah,
to do
I'm
things.
exactly the same.
Like my
Yeah,
what I consider my closest friends are ones that I've actually met virtually, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
that we talk
100%.
every single day, and it's weird because we know them probably better than some family members know us, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but we've never actually met in person. But you don't need to in order to build like that like friendship. So I think we live in
That's
a
it.
very
That's it.
fascinating time where we're we're kind of the first generation to have this, you know, have
Yeah,
the ability to build like lifelong friendships without ever being in person. And I feel like that's kind of the way of the future too, because there's so many kids that are in like a small town, whether it be in the UK or here in the States, that doesn't fit in anywhere, you know,
that's it.
inside of their school, but then
That's it.
they go online and they find a community that's like-minded to them,
Yeah,
and then they're welcome, you know, and it's
that's it. It is very accepting. I mean, obviously there's trolls and things out there, but for the most part, everyone's pretty friendly.
yeah,
Everyone will say hello. I've noticed it in big streams and small streams alike. If there's someone new in the chat, that even if only one person says hello to them, it's still one person has made an effort to say hello,
yeah,
and you don't know that that could be all that person needs
yeah.
to brighten their day.
Yeah, and you don't know when the last person that last time that the person was acknowledged. You know, they
Exactly
could have
that.
gone a week without anybody even acknowledging their existence, and that this was the
Exactly
first
that.
time that somebody said hi and went out of their way, which doesn't seem like you're going out of your way, but to them it could mean the world.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's it.
and it just goes back to
It
being
could be a
nice.
big turning point.
Yeah,
It does. It
right.
does
Just
100%.
being cordial, just being friendly, and hate begets hate, and kindness begets kindness, you know, and
Yeah,
so that's
that's it. It's that old thing, innit? Treat others how you want to be treated. It's
exactly,
as simple as it is. People still don't
yeah, like
seem
what
to
goes
want to
around
follow
comes
it. You
around,
know?
exactly,
Exactly. All the same. They're old sayings. They've been said for long enough. I remember being a child hearing them. I'm sure it's been a lot
oh
longer than
exactly,
that.
yeah, and it's not
So
just
you know,
UK, or it's worldwide, 100%, yeah,
exactly. That's it. Whether
universal.
it be in a completely different language, it's still the same thing being said.
Yeah, 100%. So to conclude, because we're about to go into an hour on this, dude, this has just kind of
Yeah.
flown by. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, it has, dude. It
Easy
has.
conversation.
Considering all the problems at the beginning as well.
Dude, it was literally like 40 minutes of like trying to figure it out, but we got it.
No, I'm
Uh,
sorry for the inconvenience
oh,
of that,
dude,
dude.
don't
Honestly.
even worry about it. I totally understand. It's not your fault. But I do want to kind of conclude with going into a little bit of detail on like your art background.
Yeah.
Were you like a did you draw a lot as a kid? Are you more of an artist or like graphic designer, or what did you
Um.
kind of go into?
So there's a lot of branches to it, to be honest. As I said, I studied art in college. I did art, design, and media. So
Okay,
I branched off into fashion design. I did some media design. I did some painting. I did some sculptures. There was a bit of everything there.
sure.
Um, so something I somehow skipped over was I actually would try to be a game designer.
Really?
Um, I did a open university course on games designing. Unfortunately, where I was in life, I couldn't actually afford the course fees. So
Sure.
halfway through, I had to give up the course, which obviously killed me. But yeah, it was again that was a big passion of mine. So there was the art aspect of that game designing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, nothing that really actually took off as such. It's been a passion of mine. I've always enjoyed doing some kind of art, whether it's designing, whether it's
Yeah.
just doodling on a pad,
Do you like just
whether
being kind of like
it's
creative in
yeah,
whatever
yeah. I think
facet
that's
that
where
may
it
be?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole creativity
Yeah.
of it, and I think that sort of is another thing that sort of pushed me into streaming because again, it's a creative thing to do. Um, especially when I get into making videos and other content.
Dude, you're gonna love it. Like honestly,
Yeah,
I suggest for you getting like Sony Vegas Pro or whatnot. It's
yeah,
like $80. You know what I mean? Or I don't know
yeah,
what that
yeah,
is in the UK. Um, but it's definitely worth it because you don't have to pay for a monthly subscription or anything like that, and
yeah.
it gives you enough tools to where you can I know a lot of big time YouTubers that use that as their editing
Yeah,
software.
yeah, yeah,
Do that, and like for you that like, has always been interested in art and things of that nature and just being creative, I think you can
yeah,
really dive deep, and like your streaming is will still be like how people know you, and
yeah.
it'll be
Of
the
course,
passion.
of course.
But what's great about streaming is you can still record your gameplay, and then you can
Yeah,
make videos off of those and get
yeah, yeah,
super
yeah.
creative with it, you know?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, as I've keep saying, I know it's been a bit repetitive, but that's what this year is about. It's about that big upgrade. There's going to be a lot of changes with my channel and with the whole squishy beard. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, dude,
uh,
I'm excited to see what the next year brings for you. 100%.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of big changes. I'm not saying I'm going to blow up and be massive
For
by
sure.
any shot, but there's going to be a lot of big changes
Yeah.
to the channel
Dude,
and to,
well,
as I
I
say, to the whole thing.
I look forward to seeing your journey, And I'm definitely gonna
Yeah,
be
definitely,
coming into your
man.
streams more. We definitely have to play and snipe it out a little bit. But
Yeah, 100%, bro.
yeah.
100%. We've got to get some games in.
Yeah.
It'll be
Dude,
good.
thank you so much for coming on to the live stream. I mean, not the
Thank you
live
for
stream,
having me,
the
man, and
podcast, dude.
thank you for the invitation. Thank you for putting up with me being on here and
Ah,
rabbiting on.
nah, man, that's what this is all about. Like for me, I like to listen to other people's
Nah,
stories.
yeah,
Like I wanna
yeah,
understand
man.
where everybody comes from, and the different cultures and just how people think and who they are, and get a feel for them.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
it's just a great way to get to know the community of the little man, because like we all know the
Yeah,
big
that's it, man.
streamers, and even the medium sized streamers, but nobody really gives a voice to the little man, and I
Nah, yeah,
wanna
it's
do
appreciated.
that a
It's
little bit.
appreciated that you've done this for not only myself, but a lot of other small
Yeah,
people out there.
yeah.
I've definitely I've been watching. I've been watching.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for coming on. And to end it, do you want to ask me anything? Flip the script a little bit.
Uh, I don't know. You put me on the spot there a bit
Dude, I
now.
know.
I mean,
I always like to end it to see if somebody has like a yearning
at
question.
the
If
end,
not, we just
yeah.
end it, bro. It's completely laid
Nah,
back.
yeah. I mean, hopefully someone else has got a better question than I have. So
No
we'll
worries,
just
man.
leave it for someone else.
If you think of something, just reach out to me. My door's always open,
100%,
bro.
brother.
And if you
100%,
need
man.
help with anything, like once you do get your setup or whatnot, I've been in it for like 2 years now, so I can kind of at least help you
It's
through a
much
little bit.
appreciated,
So.
dude. Much appreciated,
Yeah,
honestly.
dude. All right, well, guys, that is the podcast. This has been Slevtek's Roundtable with the Squishy Beard. That is going to be TheSquishyBeard_. Let's go. Over on
Let's get it.
Twitch. All the links will be down in the description for you guys as well. If you are listening to this in the audio format, whether that be Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, whatever it may be. It'll still be in the descriptions, but definitely just type the search bar in the Squishy Beard. I don't even think you have to put in the underscore. He'll pop up, and give this man some love. Let's see if we can help expedite his journey into getting his own setup for 2020. But that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Slevtek's Roundtable. Thank you so much.